Hey everybody, welcome to the video. Welcome to the channel. My name is Mike and this is the mower deck off of a John Deere L100 lawnmower. Now, this is part of our trade-up series. Here's the John Deere L100 lawnmower. My wife and I want a camper or something we can turn into a camper, which I think would be a little bit more fun, but we definitely can't afford that out of pocket. So we decided to do a trade-up series. We started with the $2 P42 Pioneer chainsaw that we got at a yard sale, fixed it up, sold it online, took the money from that, and bought a non-running lawnmower. If you want to see the chainsaw video or the first part, the first half, which was getting this lawnmower running, those links should be in the description. Today, we're going to get that deck and this lawnmower all put back together, brand new blades, brand new battery. We're going to give her a test run, and then we're going to sell it. That's all going to be in this video, and we're going to go find the next step, the next flip on the way up, which will also be in this video. And I got to figure out where all these parts go. But lucky for me, I took a picture before I disassembled it. It'll be a little bit of a puzzle though. And that goes there. And this little doohickey will go in there. These are kind of like little brakes, if I'm understanding this right. So whenever you disengage the blades, the belt should stop. Whenever you do the tensioner from the lever, it should pull those little brake pads off there. And when you let it off, it should put them back on that. Now we can fine tune that adjustment once we actually get it on there whenever we engage the blades. That's just me looking at it though. I don't know 100%. I'm not reading that out of a manual, but go ahead and get everything else buttoned up on here, then we'll flip it over and we'll slide this set of brand new blades on. It's gonna go right there. And we got this bracket here. And I remember when we took it off, you can actually still see the imprint from where the screws or bolts are at. It was bottomed out all the way forward like that. Okay, so I'm going to kind of make a decision on this. I don't know if you saw this blade over here and all the damage to the bottom of the deck that we repaired, but there's multiple options on how low or how high you could cut this. And when we got it, if you put it all the way on one, it was literally on the ground. The metal was on the ground. So we have a little adjustment here. You see how low that is? I'm gonna slide it down. I'd rather have that than have it too low. Of course, now I messed up the paint a little bit there, but that'll be okay. Last thing we have are these two brackets. And like I said, they've got a little bit of adjustment. They can slide up and down like this. Kind of depends on your ride height. Now when I took this off, I took a measurement. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop these brackets a little lower, which will raise the deck higher. I need a tape measure though. And we'll get the discharge chute on there. All right. There we go. I guess we'll slide it that way just a little bit. Yeah, maybe that way just a little bit. I can't. Okay.
So this is what I'm putting on there. Got them off Amazon. I think they were 35 bucks for the whole set. Make sure we get the blade facing the correct direction. Otherwise, we're going to take off like a helicopter. Oh, look at that. I don't know if you can see it, but they stamped in there where it says grass side. That's kind of nice. Oh yeah, like butter. Very nice. Now before we flip that deck over and take her out for a test demo, I did pick up a new battery, Walmart, like a lot of people suggested, EverStart. It is the same size. Oh, the cranking amps are a little higher though. Boy, she should start fine then. 32 bucks. It just slides down in. There's nothing fancy. Ow, that's tingly. Okay. I don't mean to brag, but I'm currently using 2 10mm sockets. Yeah, kind of a big deal. That's my foot. It's on my foot. There we go. It's facing the wrong way, but I can just pull that clip. Flip that bar around, it goes this way. Slide that pin back in. Slide this up just a little bit. Let's go right there on that tab. I need to spin her around just a bit. Get her kind of squared up. There we go. And then just gets a washer, clips right on there. Just like that. There we go. Easy as pie. There we go. Beautiful. This little clip back here, that little bracket, that is what engages the deck. Let's see, and that goes, there's a hole in there. I'll get that on there. Yep. And that goes just like that. And there's just a little clip that goes on the front here. That's all it is. Like that. Holds that in place. And then this, well, the belt goes up around here like this. There we go. That little piece goes right in there, like so. There we go. Like that. Let's make sure the tensioner is doing what it's supposed to do here. It's just a simple cable mechanism with this lever. Follows that cable on down, goes right under there. And when we pull it, tightens that belt up. I guess let's go mow some grass. Oh, a little choke would help. So here we go. Runs, drives, mows, all the gears work. New battery, new blades, fresh paint job on the deck. So the L100 is gone and it's been replaced by this. We'll take a look at this here in just a second. But I ended up selling it. I listed it for $550. I had a guy offer me $500, but before I could reply to him, I had another guy who actually works for Logger Wade and I used to work with way back in the day when I worked for Dirt Perfect full time when he had a home building business. He offered me $450 and he's just a good guy and I got the wiggle room. So why not? I sold him for $450. Now, if you remember, I had to get $342 out of it to get back to the $260. That's where I was after I sold the chainsaw, but we ended up selling it. We were at negative 82. We ended up selling it for $450, which puts us at, pause for math, puts us $368 minus what that just cost me, $160. Puts us at $208 up, which is great. So let's take a look at what we got. This is a Craftsman, which is going to be an MTD, LT2000. It's a Briggs & Stratton, 20 horsepower, 42-inch deck. Deck-wise, this deck is in way better shape than what the L100 is, just right off the bat. We shouldn't have to do anything to that. It's got the forward reverse. You guys see that there. It does have this little ding right there in the back, but I think a fella might have just fixed that. Blades look okay. They're not great, but they look okay. Spindles feel not bad. Like I said, 20 horsepower Briggs & Stratton. So let's get into it. I'm also noticing he did give me a new starter solenoid with it because he said he thought that might be the problem. But I'm not 100% sure where the starter solenoid's supposed to go on here. What's this feller got going on? So here's the solenoid. Where's that fella mount at? Huh? Okay, hold on. Quite a bit of exposed wire here on this. Just to avoid any future problems. I think it has something to do with this. I think it goes right back here. I think I've got her figured out. It tucks right up in here. I just wish I had a way to get... This is convenient. This is well thought out. They really put a lot of effort into making that user-friendly. Oh, I dropped the nut. Oh dear. There it is. Okay. And how are you supposed to... Listen, engineers, okay? I don't know who hurt you. But I'm sorry they did, you know? I am. I really am. I'm sure you're a good person. But if you could stop taking it out on us, yeah, that'd be great. It'd be great. Let's see if we can get this battery tray in here. I say tray, it's just these little clips like this. Sit down in there. Anxious to get this battery hooked up and see what we end up with here. Let's take the starter off and see what it does on its own without being attached to the motor or engine. One last thing we can kind of check to rule out the solenoid that is on there and the battery that's on there. Let's see, how good are we? I mean, I'm pretty confident that it is, but the one last thing we can check, we can just bypass all of it and just bump the starter with the jump pack and see what it'll do. I'm not recommending it, I'm not saying it's smart, but uh-oh. So it's not the starter. That starter is doing exactly what it should do. Of course, this is a few more cranking amps than that battery is. Well, what if we hook her up to the engine, Mike? I don't know. I don't know. You want to just to hear some optimistic sounds? It's just weird to me that it spins so good on its own. I mean, we're not stuck. You know, look at that. Compression. End up starting the dang thing. So I got some research to do. All right, got a new starter. Got it off Amazon. It's like 37 bucks, I think. Hopefully she fits up right. Looks like it's gonna work. They do have them on Amazon around that same price that have plastic drive gears. But this one does have a metal one. I didn't think a plastic drive gear would be the right move here. Let's see if I can find. Look at there. Now that's interesting. It gets to that point of compression and won't push it past. Maybe we've got something more than electrical. If this works. This isn't a fix, but this is supposed to be a way to diagnose it. Well, we got to pull this engine out and I'll show you what it is. I'm just going to take this front cover off and take the exhaust with the engine. I don't feel like breaking those little exhaust bolts. Seems like a pretty probable scenario. Alright, so I have us clear everything. Okay. This is the part where I make everything up as I go. That's every part. I'm guessing all that comes off. It's got to. Looks like there's some dowels that line stuff up too. It should not hurt to turn this upside down. We're gonna do it. Oh, right off there for you, huh? Okay. Wonder if we can just dump them out. Hey, did anybody see where this came from? Out of curiosity. Oh, right there probably. It fits there. Yeah, I'm sure it did. Well, I guess you can come too. Here are our broken pieces. They go together just like that. This is part of the automatic decompression valve system in this Briggs & Stratton engine. Remember that one time it kind of backfired on us? It makes a little bit more sense now. And the fact that it would have reached that point of compression and the starter couldn't push it past, that kind of all makes sense. It fits the symptoms. And the way I tested that, I saw on the old YouTube, you can find anything there, it's crazy, is I put my hand over the intake. What that did is stopped air from coming in, which limited the amount of compression, which allowed it to turn over. Once it gets firing, it doesn't need the decompression valve. It only needs it when it's trying to start up. So I think I got all the pieces. I got that half of a pin. That would ride right in there. Like that. See that little notch in that cam lobe? This is the other half of the pin that broke. It would have been one pin, just like that. And then that would have rode just like that. Well, the good news is, those are only like 35 bucks to replace that part. It replaces the camshaft and everything. So that's only like 35 bucks. That's not bad. And I think, in fact, that first used starter we had was fine. I just think that was the issue, and I think he did turn that over. So I'm going to send the new starter back, which was right around that same price. Kind of do a little trade out there, and we'll see if this can't get it fixed. While we've got this off, we'll probably go ahead and clean out that engine area too. Let's get her looking good. I'll meet you in a little bit. So I got the part in. We're getting ready to replace it, but I also got something else real quick. Make things a little easier in the shop for me here. Little LED light, and I got it plugged into my little Ryobi inverter. What was that? Grass. Ryobi inverter with my 40-volt Ryobi batteries, since we don't have power over here. How about that? Talk about some light on the situation. That's the little things. It's the little things in life, huh? Look at all that light. That's fantastic. All right, so we've got the part. Pull the old one back out. Here is the new one. Like I said, I just got it off Amazon. And that's what it's supposed to look like when it's all together like that. So what happens, you can see right here. See how this sits just a little proud of this cam lobe? Sits up just a little higher. So that cracks that valve open just a little bit to allow it to decompress enough it can make it past the compression point and start. Once the engine starts running, this little weight flings open, and then now that sits below that cam lobe, so it doesn't affect the way it runs. And what had happened is that pin broke, and when that broke, everything else just kind of came apart. It does have a timing mark right there, just like the old one did. Little indentation, see that? And there's a timing mark on here too. So we've got those timing marks. You see that little indentation right there? And then one there. So we got those matched up. So we should be okay there. So on this part here, there's this contraption, which goes right there. I'm just going to try to balance that there and lower it onto it. Need to clean this up where that seal goes around just a little bit. All right then. There we go. While we got it up on the bench and easy to access, I'm going to try to get this spark plug out, put a new plug in. But she looks pretty rough, so we may just end up breaking the thing off and ruining the whole day. You're not ready to find out though. Look at that. Just came right out. There's the old one, there's the new one. I'd say it's time for a change. Certainly not going to hurt anything. We got this all hooked back up. Throttle / choke cable going down here, clamped in where it needs to be. That's sitting right there, and then it's got that little spring right next to it. On the back side here, all secured there. Went ahead and drained all the old fuel out and put a new fuel filter on. So we're good to go ahead and put that cover back. This might be slightly optimistic getting it put back together this much without actually trying it first, but I'm a glass half full kind of guy. All right, it's all put back together. I got gas in it, I got oil in it, I'm putting a little bit of mechanic in a bottle in it. Everything's hooked up. Now the battery might be too dead to start it, so we may have to put the jump pack on, but we'll, well, it runs, but it's puking oil at the bottom, so that's got me down a little bit. I don't know. Clearly I missed some step somewhere. So here's where I'm thinking I messed up. You see this hole right here? When I put this seal in, I drove it down flat until it sat down on that machine surface, which means the edge of the seal was past that hole. My guess, my best educated guess, is that hole creates a little oil sump where that seal sits on the shaft so it doesn't dry out and cause it to leak. So I'm thinking I drove that seal too deep, and since that hole was on the side of it, the oil that's why I was puking out the side of that seal. Luckily, if we want to call it luck, because I ordered that OEM one, that means I still have the seal from the kit. So what I'm going to do is drive that seal in there and just split the difference between the top of that hole and this lip. I'm going to split the difference even there, and then we'll try her all again. The good news is, since we knew what the problem was, I was able to leave everything else on here, so it didn't take much to get the engine off, and it won't take much to get it back on. Let me get that tapped back in, we'll get this run back in, and try again. So we're all put back together, I got oil in it, everything's hooked back up the way it's supposed to be hooked back up. Let's test her out, and if she works, we'll go for a mow. What do you say, Pop? Looks like we're doing the same thing. just puking oil out the bottom. It's coming out that seal again. I don't know what's going on with it. I'm out of seals. About out of oil. Why is it doing that? I guess I'm going to go ahead and drain the oil and pull that thing off there and get it back up on the bench. I don't have any other choice but to do that and get everything fixed up the way it needs to be fixed up. How do you like the light, by the way? I like it. Check this out. We've got some sheds laying around. I was thinking about mounting up by the top of the light so we could shed some light on the situation. Oh yeah, even on a down day, we still got the dad jokes. That's it. That's all I got on this one. Next will be probably working for Dirt Perfect, depending on what the weather does this week. I got a pond overflow I got to fix on an old farmer's pond, or back to work on the Subaru for a couple days. So one of those two things. I hope you guys got the answer. I got to do some more research myself. I just can't quite figure it out. That's all I got. Appreciate you guys watching. Truly do mean that. As always, yeah, you know how it goes. Catch you on the next one.